Yo, good morning. It's not. I can't sign in to the app to turn off this music. Yo, this shit would not fucking let me sign in. I swear to God, yo, this fucking pissing me off so bad right now. Load, motherfucker. God almighty. Yeah, this is so ridiculous right now. Yo, Puff, what's good? Bro, I can't log into the PlayStation Network on my phone so I can turn this damn music off and turn the camera around. Yo, will not let me sign into this app, bro, for nothing. I've never changed my password ever, bro, and I cannot fucking sign in to the PlayStation Network on my phone so I can operate the app. And all I'm getting on the app, it just keeps saying, now loading. Now it's just been saying fucking now loading for like 10 minutes. It won't load on the fucking app. It won't even give me any access at all from my fucking the apps on my phone. I don't even know how to clear cookies, yo. What the hell? Yeah, it's an iPhone. Yo, and the app right here says, it still says now loading. Like, this bitch will not fucking, I want to smash some shit so bad, yo. I'm so frustrated with this fucking dumbass technology. And that's crazy. How can I sign into the PlayStation Network on my PlayStation with the same email, the same password? I try to sign into the PlayStation Network on my app. Same email, same password. It's telling me my fucking shit is wrong. It will not fucking give me access to this shit, bro. Word? Bruh, this is another device. I have a fucking phone. I have a tablet. I got my fucking laptop, bro. It won't let me in. Trust me, I've been sitting here trying for an hour before I even started up the stream, bro. I done tried everything. Yo, it was good, yo. Bro, I'm telling you, I got all this shit right here, bro. It will not let me get on the app. I can only get on the PlayStation on my PlayStation. But as far as these apps go, and that's the dumbest thing about streaming live. If you want to flip your camera so that things look proper to the viewers, and if you want to turn this corny ass music off, you can't do it from the console. Even though the streaming service and the connection between YouTube and PlayStation Network is set up on the console, you can't control the functions of the app. I mean, of the stream. You have to use the fucking app to operate this shit. It don't make no sense, yo. What up, bro? Shit, man. This shit is not fucking working, bro. Yeah. Yeah. No. No, I ain't never set nothing up like that. There's what now? Puff, I can't hear you. Hello? Puff, you breaking up, bro. Puff. My man Puff on the beach trying to tell me something. His phone breaking up. Update? That's what I'm saying. An update for what? For the app? It's just the app. It's just the PlayStation app. That's what I'm trying to see. Like, why can't I just turn the music off and turn the camera around? And I've had the app pulled up on this tablet for 20 minutes and it says now loading. That's what I'm saying. On my tablet, I can get on my app on the tablet. Yeah, but update what? My phone? The app? I mean, the app don't have no update for it. Boom, right here. Look, this is the app. This is the PlayStation app. You can see my stream. I'm here. It's like my tablet will pull up the fucking PlayStation Network on the tablet, yo. But it won't let me get into the fucking second screen app. Now it says the app is connected. Now loading. This bitch is gonna say now loading forever. The shit finally worked on a goddamn tablet. Jesus Christ. Was it so fucking hard to do that? Really? But it still won't let me sign in on my fucking phone? And you know, when it tells you to verify these images, your ID is wrong. It's not fucking wrong. It's not. It's not the wrong password. So stop fucking telling me that. I'm putting the right fucking password in there. You know what? Fuck it. My God. Alright, that seemed like it was too stressful for such a fucking simple thing. Like, Jesus Christ. Almost tripped myself on the wires. No, technology don't take time. Shit is fucking retarded as hell. That's the only problem. I should just, I don't know if I reset my phone, would that make a difference? It really shouldn't, because I goddamn. Alright, whatever. That shit fucked up my whole mood this morning. You know? When I'm ready to do something, I'm ready to do something. I don't need all these technical difficulties and complications all fucking with me early in the goddamn morning. Alright. Dad jokes. Because he was outstanding in this field. Yo, motherfucker stopping me for... Yo, somebody done took the post off my page. Go ahead, Facebook. Go ahead, Facebook. Say they took my damn post down. Ain't that some shit? Yes, they did. I'm trying. Yeah, they took that shit down. Or they must have took it off her page too. Wherever I shared it from, they took it down from the original source. Oh, cause she went hard on What up, Gavin? Yo, she went hard on Lifetime about that R. Kelly shit, the R. Kelly docudrama series or whatever. So R. Kelly actually, it's his name on that shit. You know what I'm saying? I guess the network has to let him know whatever. But somehow she got to some information saying that R. Kelly agreed to let Lifetime do that show on him, and somehow legally it would nullify him from going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Exposing all this drama and child assault and rape and all this shit right here. But by making a TV show about it, somehow this motherfucker got immunity by letting them do that show. So he actually just helped this motherfucker get away with raping all these little girls just by watching that fucking shit on Lifetime, and Lifetime knows it. And so this one girl put all the info out about, you know, the contracts and everything that Lifetime had with R. Kelly, and then all of a sudden, it's no longer available online.
Where are the brothers that's going to handle it? Otherwise, I don't give a fuck about Lifetime making a series about one of our fucking sick ass fucks in our community, because they're not doing that to solve the problem. No. Lifetime doesn't give a fuck about the black community. Lifetime doesn't give a fuck about really pedophilia. Let's be real. So if we look up in there, I'm sure one of the producers of Lifetime been fucking around with some underage people. We know that shit is in the entertainment industry heavy, right? So my thing is, why are we getting all up in arms about a Lifetime series? Lifetime, once again, doesn't give a fuck about solving the issue of pedophilia in the black community. Lifetime isn't doing anything to help stop R. Kelly from continuing whatever the fuck he's been doing. So my thing is, they're not trying to solve the problem. They're trying to make money exploiting a sick issue that we have in our community. This issue being R. Kelly dealing with underage women, being a pedophile, right? They're not here to help us solve the problem. So
oh, now I just that shit wanna buffer. Yo, this record shit.
to destroy the black family, then there's no excuse for us to continue to play into the hands of the government. Now, I understand that a lot of us need financial assistance. This is very true. But if the government said, oh, we'll give you plenty of assistance as long as you kill your black man, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? So if we know the system is literally set up to destroy and divide the black woman from the black man, we can't continue to participate in this system and think that that's going to help us and help our children down the road, because it's not. We know the system is set up for women to win.
Puff. Yeah, I hear you now. No. I was thinking about doing that, just resetting the whole phone, but it's crazy. It's just like, it's only certain apps. How come it's only the PlayStation apps that's doing that though? And then, see, they guilty by association, bruh. You already know, man. They watching everybody I fuck with. Yeah. But yeah. I think I've been getting fucked with for a while, bro. Every once in a while, just like some shit be happening where I know motherfuckers just be like going in my accounts and checking my shit. I done got an email saying somebody tried to sign into my email from Dubai. Like a motherfucker in Dubai trying to sign into my email account. I said you started breaking up real bad. I was like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. Cause I didn't, like I said, I don't know, man. The motherfucker who cloned my account that one time, he come in the chat room talking like, I mean, it had my account on that shit, so I know motherfuckers done been in my shit, man. Oh, I post that shit on my damn Facebook, bro. I was just about to play that shit, bro. I was just about to play that shit. And then, like I said, I'm on Facebook looking for another video I posted, and they took that shit down. I know, man. That digital footprint crazy, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm chilling, bro. It's shit Saturday. I appreciate it, man. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit here and chill in the studio for a couple hours, and then play some video games for a couple hours, and I feel you, bro. Shit, that's what it is, dude. Shit, I had a seminar I had to go to yesterday. So I was at a seminar yesterday getting some more knowledge in. So study, bro. I feel you. Mm-hmm. Shit, I feel you, bro. Damn. You know? Damn. Hell yeah. On what? It was on the radio, or how you heard it? Yeah, shit. I got one that heard them up beats. Damn, yo. I want to hear that shit. Yeah. Hey, bro, let me focus on the stream, man. I'll holler at you later on, bro. All right. Peace, bro. Yeah.
You know the system is set up for women.
My man, the IT guy, he tell me I should just reboot my phone. Then he say he'll find a way for me to have a rolling password where your password constantly changes, so nobody can't fucking like figure out your password and go through all your shit, yo. But I already know, man. I'd have been hacked before, man. Yo, Boosie, what it do? Shit. Now my PlayStation sign in is acting all funny and shit. Like I said, a motherfucking done cloned my damn account one time. So I know motherfuckers done fucking access my shit. Oh, then my man was telling me, see, I already had posted that on my damn Facebook too, man. My man telling me about this shit right here. I was like, you already know I had to post that shit. Yo, check this out. Oh, I changed up my too, man. My profile picture. Yo, my profile picture is Mobb Deep. You got Havoc, Prodigy, and then you got Nas, and you got Ghostface, yo. No, that's Raekwon. And then my background picture is Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys. But check this shit out.
4 times actually.
You want to do this out here?
Are you recording? Both of these gentlemen. 4 times actually, right? I've already told you that you couldn't come in. Right?
If you want to do this out here, that's fine.
That's fine too, I'm okay. You're with the Secret Service, you said?
That is correct.
Okay. And you're SAPD, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I make comments online, so the Secret Service came to my door with an SCPD that works with them
Make comments for what?
on Facebook.
Really? For Facebook?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
No, just let them do the job.
He's gonna ask you some questions.
What's your date of birth?
None of your concern. If you're here at my door, you already know what it is.
What's your name?
It's Candace Castillo, the same name you asked for. Oh, and since you're SCPD, I would like you to inform me. Is this mandatory? Do I need to speak to you? Am I under arrest? Are you charging me with anything? Anything?
Not at this point, no.
So then, what is your concern? Why are you here?
I'm here to ask you about the statements you made online.
What statement?
The specific statement.
What
that you made.
statement? Uh-huh.
Can someone shoot that hole between my eyes already and call it a day?
Oh, so what you're saying is I don't have a freedom of speech. I can't say what I want to.
Ma'am,
Is that the concern?
would you like to answer my questions or not? Are you going to...
I can't say what I want to.
Ma'am, specific statement.
What
that you made?
statement? Uh-huh.
Can someone shoot that hole between my eyes already and call it a day?
Oh, so what you're saying is I don't have a freedom of speech. I can't say what I want to.
Ma'am,
Is that the concern?
would you like to answer my questions or not? Are you going to sit here?
I get it. I'm not even gonna repeat that shit, but she said that shit on Facebook, and so Secret Service come to her house. I mean, see, that's the difference in the black and the white world. Black people know not to say certain shit, yo. Like, no matter how much freedom of speech there is, you know, no matter how much of a free country you live in, it's like, like, yo, niggas know not to say certain things. Like, yeah. Yo, but I understand her point too. Like, oh, I got freedom of speech. I can't say what's on my mind. It was just a thought. I didn't, you know, it's Yo, Cedric, what's up, yo? Yo, bruh. But she hold her ground, though.
Sit here and create some...
But can you answer my question?
No, I'm here to ask you questions.
No, sir.
Yes.
It
ma'am.
goes both ways.
No.
So then goodbye. So unless you don't have me under arrest, if I didn't commit a crime, did I commit a crime by expressing what I said?
That's what I'm here to ascertain.
No. Did I commit a crime by expressing what I said?
No, you did not.
Okay, so am I under arrest?
No, you're not.
Is it mandatory that I need to speak to you? Is what I asked you.
I would like you to speak with me.
I would
No, that's
like
not
you.
what I asked you.
That's not what I'm asking.
Just answer the question. It goes easier. You know that.
You have the right to decline my interview if you wish.
Oh, I do.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
That's all that shit is, yo. If you know for a fact you have not done anything wrong, what you gonna do, nigga? I ain't broke no laws. What are you gonna do to me? Do I have to talk to you? I would like for you. Nigga, that's not what I'm asking you. Is it mandatory for me to talk to you right now? No. Am I under arrest? Are you charging me with a crime? Am I being detained? Then look, man, come back when I got a lawyer, bro. I'm gonna call my lawyer. Y'all wanna talk some more? Talk to me with my attorney. Yo, D, what up?
Maybe I can call your boss and then we could really sit down. After
I'll give you one of my friends.
No, I didn't ask for yours.
No,
For
I
yours.
didn't ask for you.
So I can get legal representation and then you can ask all the questions you want in front of my attorney.
Okay, if you want legal representation, that's your right.
Okay, so just give me a card with your information and we can contact you.
Well, you can call my office. I'm not going to give you my card. Can you take down my number?
Sure. Take down his number, Macy.
I'm recording anyway, so you can just...
Oh, okay.
210. Well, I don't really want my number on Where are you? What's
So
this?
you have a pen in your hand, write it down.
Do you have a piece of paper?
You have one right in front of you, sir. Don't be difficult. If you really want this answered, you really want it resolved, just write it down. It's that simple.
And if it's to an office, it's going to be there anyways, so anyone can get it.
Excuse me?
If it's to an office, anyone can get it anyways.
It's called online, which you just did. You searched my comment. If you
Yo,
don't,
this lady said some wild shit on Facebook. She made a little crazy Facebook post. So she got whatever city she lives in, SAPD, I think that's what she said. So the little short guy is the
just write in
local.
your name.
The little short guy is local police department. He has his badge around his neck. This dude right here, plain clothes, he says he's Secret Service. So plain clothes guy is Secret Service. He's basically plain clothes, but he does have his badge out, and that's local police department. They come here asking her questions about a comment she made on Facebook. But the comment was like,
And your badge. I'll contact your office, and once I have legal representation, then we can sit down and sort it out.
Off of a Facebook comment.
No, it's alright. It's alright.
You want to do this out here?
Are you recording? Both of these gentlemen. 4 times actually, right? I've already told you that you couldn't come in. Right?
If you want to do this out here, then that's fine.
That's fine too, I don't care. You're with the Secret Service, you said?
That is correct.
Okay. And you're SAPD, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I make comments online, so the Secret Service came to my door with an SAPD that works with them.
Make comments for what?
I can't really understand what
On Facebook.
What PD she's saying? SCPD? SEPD? I'm trying to gather like what state or what city is she in, but whatever that police department is, it starts with an S. So SDPD, is it San Diego or San Francisco or like what police department are you saying?
It's out here.
Are you recording? Both of these gentlemen. 4 times actually, right? I've already told you that you couldn't come in. Right?
If you want to do this out here, then that's fine.
That's fine too, I don't care. You're with the Secret Service, you said?
That is correct.
Okay. And you're SAPD, right? Yes. Okay, good.
SAPD? San Antonio?
I make comments online, so the Secret Service came to my door with an SAPD that works with them.
Make comments for what?
On Facebook.
Really? On Facebook.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
No, just let it do the job.
He's going to ask you some questions.
What's your date of birth?
None of your concern. If you're here at my door, you already know what it is.
What's your name?
It's Candace Castillo, the same name you asked for. Oh, and since you're SCPD, I would like you to inform me. Is this mandatory? Do I need to speak to you? Am I under arrest? Are you charging me with anything? Anything?
Not at this point, no.
So then, what is your concern? Why are you here?
I'm here to ask you about the statements you made online.
What statement?
The specific statement.
What statement? Uh-huh.
Can someone shoot that pool between my eyes already and call it?
Oh, so what you're saying is I don't have a freedom.
I bet you ain't say nothing like that though. I bet you won't type that shit on your Facebook right now. Cause you know better. That's the whole point I was making. Like, some people just know better, man. Like, some people feel like they can say what they want to say because it's a free country, you got freedom of speech. I understand that. But some people know not to say certain things Cause they gonna send them people to your damn door. And if them people come to my door, that shit might not be so polite with me, you know, and so nice. Oh damn. I don't have Facebook. Oh yeah, that is right. Oh, I got a Facebook. I'm about to delete my shit too, bro. I'm about to go silent from but I need my social media for my art. Yo, Victoria. Hey. I always liked that name, yeah. It has a classical sound to it, you know. It's a classical name. It sounds like high heels in Champagne, you know, Victoria.
I can't say what I want to.
Ma'am?
Is that the concern?
Is that the concern?
Are you answer my questions or not? Are you going to sit here and create something?
What, can you answer my question?
No, I'm here to ask you questions.
No, sir.
Yes.
It goes both ways.
No.
So then goodbye.
Goodbye.
So unless you don't have me under arrest, if I didn't commit a crime, did I commit a crime by expressing what I said?
That's what I'm here to ask you.
No. Did I commit a crime by expressing what I said?
No, you did not.
Okay, so am I under arrest?
No, you're not.
Is it mandatory that I need to speak to you, is what I asked you?
I would like you to speak with me.
No, that's not what I asked you. Just answer the question. It goes easier. You know that.
You have the right.
Yeah, why is she killing his ass though? Like, why is she? And then she throw that. Yo, she is killing him. Like, stop it. Stop it. Yo, D1, you in here? Yo, bruh, you about to get kicked the fuck out this stream so fast. So fast. If you ever, your name is insulting, but if you ever make a comment about that game in here, man, this is grown people. Man, this stream is art and education. And you come in here with your weird ass name and tell me to dance for you. Ha 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 ha. Tread lightly, son. Never. You see, hey, you getting that side eye, boy. One false move. Hey, one false move. What's happening? Going over some Facebook posts that I made about other Facebook posts that were made. Am I being detained? Are you charging me with a crime? Then look, do I have that? Is it mandatory for me to speak to you? I would like for you to answer that. Whoa, that's not what I asked. Just make it simple. It'll go easier. Yeah, she was killing him. Get him, lady. The Bachelor, a show about a guy dating multiple women at once, watched by women who hate guys who date multiple women at once. Tragedy. That's so hard to see, but this is it looks like maybe kindergarten, if anything. But you see all the kids here, and then you see all the darkies in the back at their own little table. That's fucked up, right? Wow. Yeah, this was just posted on this past Wednesday in 2019. This is how we set up classrooms. Had to post that on my Facebook because shit is still going on. People think it's not, but it is. such a fucking shame. Such a fucking shame. Jeez, I did not snatch my kid out that school so fucking fast and file a lawsuit. Yeah, posted this past Wednesday. Oh, the teacher was suspended. She gonna lose her job? Maybe not. Why you set your class up like that, lady? What's this arrangement? Obviously not. You know, some people just live in a different world, man. I see that shit like, word? What school is that? What city, what state is that in? That's how y'all do that shit like that, really? This is damn. Well, like I said, if my kid was at that, what, man? But you gotta leave work. I'm not threatening you, but I'm just stating an obvious point that you can't stay at work. You gotta leave work. You have to be out in the public. Sometimes I may see you in public somewhere. Or you may run into one of my female cousins. Teacher, you don't know. That's that teacher right there. What? Psh, bitch. Drive by slapping. Somebody need to kick her ass. You need your ass kicked. You know what? You don't need that type of career anymore. You need to work at a fast food restaurant. That should be the only job you can ever acquire for the rest of your life. Is fry cook or expediter. Huh? That should be the only thing you qualify for forever, for doing some dumb shit like that. And if I see you in public, I'm gonna get my cousin to slap the shit out your ass. And I'm suing the school. I'm hurt. I'm so hurt. The motherfuckers think like, where does it still come from? Like, where is it? That's where kids. These are kindergarten kids not understanding what this adult is doing to them. They don't understand what's going on, but that's a seed that is being implanted. That's a idea that is being ingrained into all of these children at a very, very young age. Yeah, they gotta sit closer, man, cause all of them got bad vision. You know, they gotta. She's not in the turkey burger. You ain't trust her with the food? Yeah. That is true. That is true. I ain't thinking about that. Like my man said, put her in waste management. She's trash. You know what I'm saying? Work with your own kind. You know what I'm saying? Instead of working with kids, you need to just pick up dirty diapers all day. Trash that. Yeah, I'll show y'all something I did yesterday. All right. So you guys know I got a job at the Outreach Center for Community Resources. So this was had to take a simple trauma 101, an overview of trauma-informed care and what causes trauma and what is trauma, and skills focus, trauma, extension of trauma awareness. And so I was in foster care as a kid, and so I understand, like, well, like I say, for years I've been doing very selective reading. I read a lot of psychiatry books and books dealing with the mind and psychology and things like that. So I've been actually trying to break down my own traumas, just to understand my personality better, my good habits, my bad habits, my addictions, the way I view relationships and everything. So always having these internal discussions and dialogue with myself, to become more aware of how my life has shaped my reality. And so I've never heard of this before yesterday. So this is ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences. And how to prevent ACEs, abuse, neglect, household dysfunction. And so if you go through this list and you can mark off 4 of these things as a child or adolescent, like, you're gonna be kind of fucked up, you know? And I have all of this shit, yo. And so it even amazes me that I'm where I'm at and doing as well as I am with such a childhood that I had. And so we listened to a TED Talk, and you know I listen to TED Talks all the time, but I never heard of the ACEs study, and I never heard of this doctor right here, who is actually African American. Dr. Nadine Burke Harris. Wow. And she has, wow. All right, so she has some more recent videos that are longer, an hour long, a couple of different lectures she's given which are an hour long. But so the one we listened to, which I'll let you guys listen to right now, is 16 minutes long. But this is what we listened to yesterday.
You could take the treatment of your ulcerative colitis in a different direction. Talk to your doctor.
In the mid-90s, the CDC and Kaiser Permanente discovered an exposure that dramatically increased the risk for 7 out of 10 of the leading causes of death in the United States. In high doses, it affects brain development, the immune system, hormonal systems, and even the way our DNA.
Yo, y'all gotta try to find this lecture and watch it for yourself, because she's smart and she's fine as hell. You just gotta see her, yo. Like she's one of those ladies that may intimidate most men around her because she's so intelligent and she's so beautiful. It's like, what? I'm God, bitch. I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I give birth, I'm God.
Is read and transcribed. Folks who are exposed in very high doses have triple the lifetime risk of heart disease and lung cancer, and a 20-year difference in life expectancy. And yet doctors today are not trained in routine screening or treatment. Now, the exposure I'm talking about is not a pesticide or packaging chemical. It's childhood trauma. Okay, what kind of trauma am I talking about here? I'm not talking about failing a test or losing a basketball game. I am talking about threats that are so severe or pervasive that they literally get under our skin and change our physiology. Things like abuse or neglect, or growing up with a parent who struggles with mental illness or substance dependence. Now, for a long time, I viewed these things in the way I was trained to view them, either as a social problem, refer to social services, or as a mental health problem, refer to mental health services. And then something happened to make me rethink my entire approach. When I finished my residency, I wanted to go someplace where I felt really needed, someplace where I could make a difference. So I came to work for California Pacific Medical Center, one of the best private hospitals in Northern California, and together we opened a clinic in Bayview Hunters Point, one of the poorest, most underserved neighborhoods in San Francisco. Now, prior to that point, there had been only one pediatrician in all of Bayview to serve more than 10,000 children. So we hung a shingle and we were able to provide top quality care regardless of ability to pay. It was so cool. We targeted the typical health disparities: access to care, immunization rates, asthma hospitalization rates, and we hit all of our numbers. We felt very proud of ourselves. But then I started noticing a disturbing trend. A lot of kids were being referred to me for ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. But when I actually did a thorough history and physical, what I found was that for most of my patients, I couldn't make a diagnosis of ADHD. Most of the kids I was seeing had experienced such severe trauma that it felt like something else was going on. Somehow, I was missing something important. Now, before I did my residency, I did a master's degree in public health. And one of the things that they teach you in public health school is that if you're a doctor and you see 100 kids that all drink from the same well, and 98 of them develop diarrhea, you can go ahead and write that prescription for dose after dose after dose of antibiotics, or you can walk over and say, what the hell is in this well? So I began reading everything that I could get my hands on about how exposure to adversity affects the developing brains and bodies of children. And then one day, my colleague walked into my office and he said, Dr. Burke, have you seen this? In his hand was a copy of a research study called the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study. That day changed my clinical practice and ultimately my career. The Adverse Childhood Experiences Study is something that everybody needs to know about. It was done by Dr. Vince Felitti at Kaiser and Dr. Bob Onda at the CDC, and together they asked 17,500 adults about their history of exposure to what they called adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. Those include physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, physical or emotional neglect, parental mental illness, substance dependence, incarceration, parental separation or divorce, or domestic violence. For every yes, you would get a point on your ACE score. And then what they did was they correlated these ACE scores against health outcomes. What they found was striking. Two things. Number one, ACEs are incredibly common. 67% of the population had at least one ACE, and 12.6%, 1 in 8, had 4 or more ACEs. The second thing that they found was that there was a dose-response relationship between ACEs and health outcomes. Higher your ACE score, the worse your health outcomes. For a person with an ACE score of 4 or more, their relative risk of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease was 2.5 times that of someone with an ACE score of 0. For hepatitis, it was also 2.5 times. For depression, it was 4.5 times. For suicidality, it was 12 times. A person with an ACE score of 7 or more had triple the lifetime risk of lung cancer and 3.5 times the risk of ischemic heart disease, the #1 killer in the United States of America. Well, of course, this makes sense. You know, some people looked at this data and they said, come on, you know, you have a rough childhood, you're more likely to drink and smoke and do all these things that are going to ruin your health. This isn't science. This is just bad behavior. It turns out this is exactly where the science comes in. We now understand, better than we ever have before, how exposure to early adversity affects the developing brains and bodies of children. It affects areas like the nucleus accumbens, the pleasure and reward center of the brain that is implicated in substance dependence. It inhibits the prefrontal cortex, which is necessary for impulse control and executive function, a critical area for learning. And on MRI scans, we see measurable differences in the amygdala, the brain's fear response center. So there are real neurologic reasons why folks exposed to high doses of adversity are more likely to engage in high-risk behavior. And that's important to know. But it turns out that even if you don't engage in any high-risk behavior, you're still more likely to develop heart disease or cancer. The reason for this has to do with the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the brain's and body's stress response system that governs our fight or flight response. How does it work? Well, imagine you're walking in the forest and you see a bear. Immediately, your hypothalamus sends a signal to your pituitary, which sends a signal to your adrenal gland that says, release stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol. And so your heart starts to pound, your pupils dilate, your airways open up, and you are ready to either fight that bear or run from the bear. And that is wonderful if you're in a forest and there's a bear. But the problem is what happens when the bear comes home every night. And this system is activated over and over and over again. And it goes from being adaptive or life-saving to maladaptive or health-damaging. Children are especially sensitive to this repeated stress activation because their brains and bodies are just developing. High doses of adversity not only affect brain structure and function, they affect the developing immune system, developing hormonal systems, and even the way our DNA is read and transcribed. So for me, this information threw my old training out the window, because when we understand the mechanism of a disease, when we know not only which pathways are disrupted, but how, then as doctors, it is our job to use this science for prevention and treatment. That's what we do. So in San Francisco, we created the Center for Youth Wellness to prevent, screen, and heal the impacts of ACEs and toxic stress. We started simply with routine screening of every one of our kids at their regular physical, because I know that if my patient has an ACE score of 4, she's 2.5 times as likely to develop hepatitis or COPD. She's 4.5 times as likely to become depressed, and she's 12 times as likely to attempt to take her own life as my patient with 0 ACEs. I know that when she's in my exam room. For our patients who do screen positive, we have a multidisciplinary treatment team that works to reduce the dose of adversity and treat symptoms using best practices, including home visits, care coordination, mental health care, nutrition, holistic interventions, and yes, medication when necessary. But we also educate parents about the impact of ACEs and toxic stress the same way you would for covering electrical outlets or lead poisoning. And we tailor the care of our asthmatics and our diabetics in a way that recognizes that they may need more aggressive treatment given the changes to their hormonal and immune systems. So the other thing that happens when you understand this science is that you want to shout it from the rooftops, because this isn't just an issue for kids in Bayview. I figured the minute that everybody else heard about this, it would be routine screening, multidisciplinary treatment teams, and it would be a race to the most effective clinical treatment protocols. Yeah, that did not happen. And that was a huge learning for me. What I had thought of as simply best clinical practice, I now understand to be a movement. In the words of Dr. Robert Block, the former president of the American Academy of Pediatrics, adverse childhood experiences are the single greatest unaddressed public health threat facing our nation today. And for a lot of people, that's a terrifying prospect. The scope and scale of the problem seems so large that it feels overwhelming to think about how we might approach it. But for me, that's actually where the hope lies. Because when we have the right framework, when we recognize this to be a public health crisis, then we can begin to use the right toolkit to come up with solutions. From tobacco to lead poisoning to HIV/AIDS, the United States actually has quite a strong track record with addressing public health problems. But replicating those successes with ACEs and toxic stress is going to take determination and commitment. And when I look at what our nation's response has been so far, I wonder, why haven't we taken this more seriously? You know, at first, I thought that we marginalized the issue because it doesn't apply to us, right? That's an issue for those kids in those neighborhoods, which is weird because the data doesn't bear that out. The original ACEs study was done in a population that was 70% Caucasian, 70% college educated. But then, the more I talk to folks, I'm beginning to think that maybe I had it completely backwards. If I were to ask how many people in this room grew up with a family member who suffered from mental illness, I bet a few hands would go up. And then if I were to ask how many folks had a parent who maybe drank too much, or who really believed that if you spare the rod, you spoil the child, I bet a few more hands would go up. Even in this room, this is an issue that touches many of us. And I'm beginning to believe that we marginalize the issue because it does apply to us. Maybe it's easier to see in other zip codes because we don't want to look at it. We'd rather be sick. Fortunately, scientific advances and, frankly, economic realities make that option less viable every day. The science is clear. Early adversity dramatically affects health across a lifetime. Today, we are beginning to understand how to interrupt the progression from early adversity to disease and early death. And 30 years from now, the child who has a high ACE score and whose behavioral symptoms go unrecognized, whose asthma management is not connected, and who goes on to develop high blood pressure and early heart disease or cancer will be just as anomalous as a 6-month mortality from HIV/AIDS. People will look at that situation and say, what the heck happened there? This is treatable. This is beatable. The single most important thing that we need today is the courage to look this problem in the face and say, this is real and this is all of us. I believe that we are the movement. Thank you.
Gentlemen, listen up. RST Derek here. I want to invite you to an exclusive and free webinar with me.
Let's not do
Standard
that.
Age.
Let's not do the commercial, dude.
You ran your campaign promising supporters that Mexico is going to pay for the wall
here we
and that
go
the
again.
wall was going to be made of concrete. You just said earlier that the wall could be made of steel, and right now our government is shut down over a demand from your administration that the American taxpayer pay for the wall. So how can you say you're not failing on that promise to your supporters?
Very nice question, so beautifully asked, even though I just answered it.
You didn't
Look,
answer.
let me just tell you,
USDA has not even passed Congress
you
yet, sir.
ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I just told you that we just made a trade deal, and we will take in billions and billions of dollars, far more than the cost of the wall. The wall is peanuts compared to what the value of this trade deal is to the United States. As far as concrete, I said I was going to build a wall. I never said, I'm going to build a concrete. I said I'm going to build a wall.
You said
just so you know, because I know you're not into the construction business, you don't understand something. We now have a great steel business that's rebuilt in the United States. Steel is stronger than concrete. If I build this wall or fence or anything the Democrats need to call it, because I'm not into names, I'm into production. I'm into something that works. If I build a steel wall rather than a concrete wall, it will actually be stronger than a concrete. Steel is stronger than concrete, okay? In case you can check it out. Listen, if I build a wall and the wall is made out of steel instead of concrete, I think people will like that. And here's the other good thing. I'll have it done and they've become powerful over the last 2 years because of me and because of our trade policies. So if I have a steel wall, or you could call it a steel fence, but it'll be more powerful than any of the concrete walls that we're talking about. It's possible that it will look better. And one of the things, I think you have seen this, that's very important for us, very, very important, in speaking to Border Patrol, ICE, and actually local law enforcement, and even military, they want to be able to see through it. You can't really see through a concrete wall. They want to be able to see who's on the other side of the wall. Because if they're here, and you have about a 12-inch concrete wall, and you have people on the other side, but you can't see what's over there, it's very dangerous. They want to be able to see through the wall. A see-through wall made out of steel is far stronger than a concrete wall. So I'm very happy with it. I think, I'm not sure, but I think that's what the Democrats prefer. And if it can get them there, I'm okay. It actually will be a more powerful wall, and it will be a more beautiful wall than having a concrete wall.
So the new trade deal, Mr. President.
All right, Jeff,
Mr.
Jeff, go ahead.
The new trade
Mr. President.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You mentioned China in your remarks. Are you concerned about the words and the actions of Apple this week with regard to revenue? And can you?
It'll look better, and be stronger, far superior. See, you're not into the construction business. See what you don't know. There's something you don't understand. is that now America has a booming steel economy in the past 2 years, thanks to me. Yo, see, what does the blue smoke symbolize? That is a good question. What does the blue smoke symbolize?
What sort of progress you meant when you're referring to trade talks with China?
Well, I think we're doing very well. China's paying us tremendous tariffs. We're getting billions and billions of dollars of money.
Billions and billions of dollars of money.
In history, we've never. China's paying us tremendous tariffs.
Yo.
We're
billions of dollars of money.
Billions and billions of dollars of money pouring into the treasury of the United States. China's paying us tremendous tariffs.
Hey, man. We're getting billions and billions of dollars of money. What else would you be getting billions and billions of dollars of? Turtles? We're getting billions and billions of dollars of peanuts. Like, what? Trump, what do you be saying sometimes, man? You say too much, man. Say less, bruh. Say less. I know it seems like I talk a lot, but I limit myself. Because I know if I say too much, I'm going to sound crazy. I say something stupid. Or say something I'm not really sure about. I do that most of the time anyway. But I'm just saying, as an example, I'm using myself as an example, but I can do that because I'm not the fucking president of the United States of America. You know? I can be kind of wrong and not fuck up people's lives. This motherfucker said he getting billions and billions of dollars of money. Damn.
We're getting billions and billions of dollars of money pouring into the treasury of the United States, which in history we've never gotten from China, as you know. It's been very China's paying us
words and the
China's paying us tremendous tariffs. He said, which in history has never happened. Like, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Trump. Because you're saying it like it is. You're just a plain spoken dude. But there's something about the way you put your words together that make you sound dumb. You know what I'm saying? If it's just you and your homies, and y'all chilling at the crib, having a couple of brews or whatever, talking shit while y'all sitting on the deck or whatever, you can talk like me and say duh and all that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You get in front of the camera, man. Your grammar gotta be a little bit better than that, man. You know, you gotta use proper pronouns, past participles, and all that good shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Motherfucker don't know the difference between the adverb and the adjective. We're getting billions and billions of dollars of money from China, which has just never happened in history. Look. You're not into the construction, so there's something you might not understand. The Donald. This dude is amazing. Motherfucker tweeted, I became president on my first try. Then Bush tweeted, I became president on my first try. And then Obama tweeted, shit, I became president on my first try. Like, Trump, you just made yourself look stupid, man. Stop it, man. Stop doing that, Trump. Yo, this is the most
this week with regard to revenue, and can you tell us what?
This is the most I listen to Trump Since this motherfucker been president.
Sort of progress you meant when you were referring to trade talks with China?
Well, I think we're doing very well. China's paying us tremendous tariffs. We're getting billions and billions of dollars of money pouring into the treasury of the United States, which in history we've never gotten from China. As you know, it's been very unfair. I had a fantastic meeting with President Xi, who I both like and respect. One of the things that came out of that meeting was fentanyl. As you know, almost all of it comes from China. And he's going to now criminalize the making of fentanyl. And unlike our country, they have unbelievably strong prohibitions about drugs. It was not on their list. They view it as I guess, as some kind of a commercial product. Now they view it as something that's very dangerous. They're going to be changing their laws to make fentanyl a criminal process if you're making fentanyl. If they do that, you know what their ultimate is. It's called the death penalty. I think that could have a tremendous, and I thank President Xi very much. The first question I said to him before we started the trade talks in Argentina, this was a meeting that was supposed to last for about 45 minutes, and it ended up being almost 4 hours. Some of you were there. It was a great meeting. We'll see what happens. You never know with the deal. But I will tell you, China's not doing well now, and it puts us in a very strong position. We are doing very well, but we're taking in billions.
China's not doing well? That fucking
and I
lying.
hope we're going to make a deal with China, and if we don't, they're paying us tens of billions of dollars worth of tariffs. Not the worst thing in the world, but I think we will. I think we will make a deal with China. I really think they want to. I think they sort of have to, and I think we're going to have a great relationship. I think that President Xi and myself have a great relationship. Also, North Korea. We're doing very well with North Korea, and that's based on relationship also. Right?
Can Mr. President,
go ahead. One more quick one. Go ahead.
Follow up, sir. Apple issued a revenue warning this week, which led its stock to go down and the rest of the stock market to go down as well. Are you concerned about that?
No, I'm not. I mean, look, they've gone up a lot. You know, they've gone up hundreds of % since I'm president. Apple was at a number that was incredible, and they're going to be fine. Apple is a great company, but that's not my look. I have to worry about our country. Don't forget this. Apple makes their product in China. I told Tim Cook, who's a friend of mine, who I like a lot, make your product in the United States. Build those big, beautiful plants that go on for miles, it seems. Build those plants in the United States. I like that even better. Apple makes its product in China. China's
That's what I don't like about this motherfucker, man. He a misogynist, woman-hating, racist, dickhead, dumbass, but then he'll say some shit that makes sense every once in a while. Like, God damn it, Trump. I disagree with you. You motherfucker. You know? Absolutely agree with that.
Those big, beautiful plants that go, I told incredible, and they're going to be fine. Apple is a great company, but that's not my, look, I have to worry about our country. Don't forget this. Apple makes their product in China. I told Tim Cook, who's a friend of mine, who I like a lot, make your product in the United States. Build those big, beautiful plants that go on for miles, it seems. Build those plants in the United States. I like that even better. Apple makes its product in China. China is the biggest beneficiary of Apple, more than us, because they build their product mostly in China. But now he's investing $350 billion because of what we did with taxes and the incentives that we created in the United States. He's going to build a campus and lots of other places. So my focus is the United States. I want to get those companies to come back, like so many are doing, into the United States. I want Apple to make their iPhones and all of the great things that they make in the United States, and that'll take place.
Thank you, Mr.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask you two questions. One, as you talk about the wall, eminent domain. Yeah. Many of those who own property on the southern border will lose their property because of this, and once this happens, they say that they could go to court with you for years. It could take years. Then also, what is the safety net for federal workers? You're saying months and possibly a year for this shutdown, do you have in mind a safety net for those who need their checks, those who need SSI, those who need Medicaid, what have you?
Well, the safety net is going to be having a strong border because we're going to be safe. I'm not talking about economically, but ultimately economically. I really believe that these people, many of the people that we're talking about, many of the people you're discussing, I really believe that they agree with what we're doing. And we can have this, April, we can have this fixed very quickly. This can happen by early next week. We're going to be working over the weekend. We can have a solution to this, but I wanted to keep it all at one point. And I think a lot of the people that you're referring to, April, are really wanting that to happen too. I really believe a lot of them want to see border security, and they're willing to give it up. When I had the people in yesterday, they represent most of the Border Patrol. The people that you had yesterday that were at the news conference, they represent most of Border Patrol. Every one of them said, don't even think about us. Get this fixed. That is doing the great thing for our country. As far as eminent domain, you're right, 100%. Eminent domain is very interesting. But without eminent domain, you wouldn't have any highways, you wouldn't have any schools, you wouldn't have any roadways. What we're doing with eminent domain is, in many cases, we'll make a deal up front, and we've already done that. The Secretary has done a lot of that. And if we can't make a deal, we take the land and we pay them through a court process, which goes actually fairly quickly. And we're generous. But we take the land. Otherwise, you could never build anything. If you didn't use eminent domain, you wouldn't have one highway in this country. You have to use eminent domain. It's actually something you don't want to use it, but if you're going to do a stretch, as an example, on pipelines and other things that go, you have to use eminent domain, otherwise you'd never be able to buy the land. If we had one person that wouldn't sell us out of hundreds, just one, it only takes one, then we wouldn't be able to build proper border security because we'd have that big opening that I was talking about. So what happens is some are paid up front, you make a deal up front, and we're willing to do that in all cases. And when they're unwilling to make a deal, which also happens, then you go to court. But in the meantime, we're able to build the border security. So I think it's a fair process. I think it's a process that's very necessary, but I think it's fair.
Couldn't that hold up your wall?
No, it's not going to hold it up because under the military version of eminent domain and under actually Homeland Security, we can do it before we even start. Now, a lot of times we'll make a deal, and I would say a good percentage of the time we're making deals. We have already purchased a lot of it. You know, a lot of the money that we've been given has already been spent on purchasing the land, the right-of-way. It's essentially a right-of-way. So we are very, very far along on that. But eminent domain is something that has to be used, usually you would say for anything that's long, like a road, like a pipeline, or like a wall or a fence. Okay, thank you. Good question.
Like a wall or a fence, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be made out of steel, not brick, though, because I want to be able to see through it. You know, we want to see through it. If I make it out of concrete, you know, 14 inches of concrete, you can't really see through 14 inches of concrete. So, and if you got one people on one side and you got some people on the other side, and you can't see what the people on the other side are doing, that's very dangerous for us. So we want to design the wall in a way where it's beautiful, it's strong, and you can see through it. So we're going to use steel, and it's going to be a wall or a fence, you know. And we're going to use manifest destiny. I mean, eminent domain. I mean, we're going to steal your land.
Who was here 20,000 years ago to build complex structures on the continent of Antarctica?
If the pre-Adamites existed and Antarctica was their base where they built powerful pyramids to affect the planet, how would revealing this now affect the world we live in today?
We need to understand the forces that were involved in shaping the modern world.
Gaia, the spirit of the earth. painting right now, but I am actually putting paint on here.
Hi, this is Brian Forrester, and we are on the Altiplano area of Peru near Lake Titicaca. We're going to be exploring a site called Cutimbo. So at Cutimbo, there are these funerary towers called chulpa. They're made of basalt stone. Whether the basalt is local or was brought from a great distance, we still have not been able to find out. But they are quite ancient, at least 1,000 years old. Now this one is relatively small and not that well constructed. A reasonable job was done. I'm not quite sure whether this one is megalithic or not, but like every location, the Cutimbo area is quite complicated, and we find relatively crude construction like this, but we also find very advanced examples of stonework as well. You can see that the environment is relatively bleak, little more than grass grows here, very difficult for people to grow food. And yet this area has been inhabited for thousands upon thousands of years. So with the quadcopter traveling upwards, we're going to be seeing some other structures in the distance. So here the quadcopter is going across, again, this relatively barren grassland area. But now going up, you see there are some towers on top of this mesa-like formation. And we're going to get a chance to be able to see these in greater detail soon in this somewhat short video. So there you can see chulpa towers. They're quite a bit larger than the one that the quadcopter just scanned. And there are other ones at another megalithic site called Silustani, which I have shown in other videos in the past. Again, these are normally thought to be ancient funeral towers, but we're going to see a few that are much, much larger. They're megalithic in nature, and they were probably made, yes again, with lost ancient high technology. So just to thank you from me for thanking you for subscribing to my channel. And now we're actually on top of the mesa. You can see the volcanic stone of the area. And here we're looking at two of the much larger chulpa towers. Notice that the stone is very tight-fitting. There are square ones, and there are also round ones. The round ones are much more common, and you can also see that they slightly taper from the bottom to the top. So they actually flare out from the bottom to the top, and this is especially seen if you visit Silustani or my videos related to Silustani on my YouTube channel. So now we're getting more of a close-up look. Again, look at the very tight-fitting stone construction. I believe that these are several thousand years old. And here, there's someone for sense of scale. Every stone you can see is a different shape and size. And interestingly enough, there are no signs of visible tool marks. So that either means lost ancient high technology or incredible erosion. So if you can, please visit me at Contact in the Desert in June 2019 in California.
I want to know the whole story.
mysteries of the Giza pyramids. Looming over the landscape just outside of Cairo, Egypt, lies one of the most iconic wonders of the world. The three Great Pyramids of Giza are some of the first things people outside the country think about when they hear the name. Ever since European explorers first came to the site in the early 1200s after the Crusades, people in the Western world have grown increasingly curious about these gigantic structures. As more and more mysteries surrounding the three Great Pyramids of Giza come to light, new ideas emerge about who really built them and how, what their purpose was, and what they still hide inside their massive stone walls. Explorers now use the latest technology to investigate the secrets held for thousands of years. What they find still amazes them. Mainstream Egyptology still makes wild claims they're grand tombs built by architects and slaves to house the remains of Egyptian kings. Independent Egyptology researchers show evidence for claims they're constructed as portals to the ancient gods. Maybe they're signposts or spaceships left behind by some benevolent force not of this world. By examining the most mysterious aspects of the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, new truths and imaginative possibilities emerge. Many historians outlandishly think it started with the afterlife plans of a pharaoh named Khufu some 4,500 years ago. But there's more compelling reasons and evidence to believe it started much, much earlier than that. Ancient Egypt pyramids rediscovered. People have been rediscovering the pyramids of Giza in Egypt for thousands of years. The first were Egyptians themselves back in the times that modern people still call ancient. The Giza pyramid, sometimes attributed to King Khufu, the largest of the pyramids, attracted the most attention. Subsequent pharaohs, Thutmose IV and Kamwiset, both took part in restoration processes dozens or hundreds of years after they were built. The ancient Greeks and Romans showed up next to explore and help restore the massive structures. This happened in the 200s BCE. These historical figures, including the Ptolemies, also added to the Egyptian landscape by adopting some of the architectural styles and building their own temples. Time marched on, the Crusades happened, and finally peaceful explorers from more northern parts of Europe appeared. The early explorations involved a lot of dynamite to try to gain access, which damaged parts of the pyramid. In the years from approximately 1820 onward, the modern age of Egyptology took over with more precise and scientific explorations. Nowadays, people who study Egyptology are in two camps, academic and independent, and both use the latest sensing and scanning equipment to look inside previously unknown parts of the Great Pyramids of Giza and find that there's more to the story than a boring theory of impressive tombs. The unique facts about the pyramid's materials, alignment, interior spaces, and legends raise more questions than they answer. Just how old are the pyramids at Giza? Traditional explanations for pyramids' ages stem from the Old Kingdom times, and more specifically, King Khufu himself, as they're linking it to him. Egyptology rests their case in that he ordered people to build it, and therefore they apparently know the time it was built. According to them, this would put the time frame for the pyramid's construction around 2589 to 2504 BCE. Since this was at the early stages of the Egyptian society in the area, it seems unlikely the ancient Egyptians took on the biggest thing they would ever do first. Then, the scientists stepped in with the usual methods of dating ancient materials, radiocarbon dating. This does not work on stone, obviously. However, the research team grabbed some wood from another pyramid and tested it. This showed that the Old Kingdom material were almost 400 years older than previously thought. They literally disproved their own theory. This wood was from another site and not the Great Pyramids at Giza. More samples were taken and tested. In the end, they found ranges of 400 years for materials in the Giza Pyramid, but ones that were all older than previously thought. The 400 years discrepancy disproves every angle the Egyptologists had on the Giza Pyramid. But we're still not allowed to look at any date that's older, whether it's 400, 4,000, or otherwise. The thought police are on the Giza Plateau to stay. Another problem arises. Where did this wood come from? Of course, there were some trees along the Nile River back in those days, and the Egyptians undoubtedly made use of them. However, during the times originally thought to be in the range of the Giza pyramid building, the Nile Valley was not covered with trees. When was it more lush, green, and filled with trees? Before the last ice age, some 11,000 years ago. Was it then that whoever created the massive pyramids built the structures using more wood than was there much later? Go back even farther and part of the lands was flooded, which would have made it easier to move large blocks of stone. Some open-minded historians and researchers have connected the flooded Egypt with Atlantis. The pyramid would rise above the floodwaters, much like the two prominent mounts in the Atlantis story were said to. Other more tangible proof of older pyramids exist. A carved ostrich eggshell dated around 7,000 years ago depicts trees, ostriches, and the three Giza pyramids. A preserved papyrus scroll called the Turin King List includes earliest mentions of half-men, half-animal rulers some 11,000 years ago. Another historical artifact from Ra's head priest put the beginning of Egyptian civilization in the hands of demigods long before human pharaohs took over. Who on earth built the Giza pyramids? Real historical documents describing demigods and half-men, therianthrope beings that came to Egypt much earlier than people thought the civilization there began, cannot help but bring to mind earlier tales of mysterious visitors. The Anunnaki spoken of in earlier Sumerian historical records included birdmen and fishmen, as well as a whole pantheon of deities that took different forms. One look at some of the ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses reveals startling similarities. Ra, the sun god, had a bird head. He could be the exiled son of the major Sumerian Anunnaki gods that was sent to a new land. Isis, the goddess associated with the throne and motherhood, had bird wings. Her son, Horus, also had the head of a bird who served as protector to the kings. Nowhere in standard Egyptian reports does it state that the gods and goddesses themselves built the pyramids of Giza. However, as protectors, guides, and overseers of the entire ancient Egyptian society, they had a hand in pretty much everything that went on. Did men alone build the pyramids, or did they have help from either mysterious deities or other beings that could only be understood as gods and goddesses in those long ago days? As many civilizations do, the Egyptians appear to have borrowed god stories from the Mesopotamians and Sumerians. That is, if these beings only existed as figments of their imagination. The historical Turin King List, clearly stating a succession of non-human beings ruling over the land, it seems that the Anunnaki deities and half-humans visited more places than just one. The alien theory of the ancient gods is popular among those more likely to believe in intelligent life elsewhere in the universe than magical deities. These Sumerian tablets that speak of Nibiru and how these beings that lived there visited Earth multiple times in the past provide some compelling evidence of this. When it comes to the Egyptian pyramids at Giza, the sheer size, precision, and meaning behind the construction materials and layouts points to an otherworldly source. Advanced technology would certainly help cut mathematically correct 70-ton blocks of stone, move them a long distance, and then position them with precision up the side of a 480-foot tall structure. If it was the people who lived there, how did they get it done in a relatively short amount of time with such precise details, and in perfect alignment to things not even discovered until much later? Also, what happened to the knowledge needed to do it all in the years since then? And the Book of Enoch. An interesting part of the Dead Sea Scrolls, called the Book of Enoch, was a biblical-era text left out of the Christian canon for one reason or another. It was popular throughout history with Orthodox Jewish teachings. Enoch was Noah's grandfather and Methuselah's father. The book covers the stories of the Nephilim and giants who were born to human women and angelic fathers. There are considerable similarities between these beings, the Anunnaki of Sumerian lore, and the Egyptian gods and goddesses. What is the winged goddess if not an angel? Who were the Anunnaki Watchers if not the collection of beings with strange appearances and otherworldly powers seen in the Egyptian pantheon and Epic of Gilgamesh? Could the pyramids be the fabled thrones to the gods, purposely built to withstand the massive floods that came in those days, such as in the story of Noah? No one can argue that giants with godlike powers would have been very useful in building the gigantic pyramids of Giza. With exceptional strength and stature, men of prodigious size could have more easily moved the massive stone blocks and hoisted them into position. Combine their strength with the possibility of advanced technology brought by their angelic or alien parents, and the pyramids become a more reasonable endeavor. Other than the historical records and stories inscribed on papyrus and clay tablets, there are examples of actual physical evidence that giants once walked the earth. It begins with the remains of ancient rulers from Egypt. For example, the pharaoh named Sa-Nakht was 8 inches taller than average. Other mummies have ranged from 7 feet to even 14 feet tall. Obscure sources of ancient writing and historical papers and news accounts of explorers speak of these extra tall beings that appear human. They also show up in the Christian Bible, such as in the story of Goliath. An early explorer and Baghdad Sultan named Al-Mamun wrote about 832 CE that the people who lived there were giants, and that various named ones not only built the pyramids but also placed secrets in the pyramids. Stories from Egypt itself reveal that a race of unique beings before the times of the pharaohs engaged in pyramid building. These followers of Horus were reported to be important to rulers and the aristocracy, taller and heavier than Egyptians of the time, had larger skulls on average and pale hair. They were recorded in the Edfu building texts as standing up with gods who were over 15 feet in height. Gigantic knife blades, mace heads, and other artifacts have been unearthed. The combination of the ancient stories from the ancient Sumerian to the Christian Bible to the Egyptians' own papyrus scrolls speak of the same type of beings coming to Earth, involving themselves with the lives of humans and getting offspring by them. These giants were different and advanced and helped form civilizations more advanced than any the world had ever seen. They built the pyramids too? Why would they bother themselves with the tomb of a much later pharaoh? Khufu, Cheops, and his coffin. The last question above can be answered easily when you know that Khufu's body or coffin were never found inside the largest pyramid in Giza. Although these generally accepted historical records show that Khufu was the one that had the largest pyramid built, no one has actually found his body or a sarcophagus that's clearly his yet. In fact, no one ever found any regular evidence of burials in the Great Pyramid at all. There's been more evidence of fabrication than anything else. Instead of downward steps or ramps, its passageways go upward. Instead of simple small rooms or chambers, it holds a large grand gallery room. Even though known Egyptian tombs like the Valley of the Kings, 700 miles away, were full of items belonging to the ruler in his life, none had any reason for something as large as the gallery in this pyramid. It was sized much like a resonator acoustic hall instead. Another mysterious fact about the Great Pyramid of Giza was the lack of hieroglyphs, pictures, or inscriptions inside on the walls, doorways, or ceilings as in other tombs. Could the builders and artisans have left these out because Khufu was not well liked during his reign? It seems very unlikely, as other pharaohs all had glyphs and paintings telling of their lives. There are some hieroglyphs that were discovered in the 1830s on an expedition by Howard Weiss and Company. They opened up 4 of the relieving chambers inside the pyramid, but never
Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here for a little while. There's a chance I'll be back in here later on this afternoon to work on this blue and get that smoke done. I feel like once I put some more highlights on that smoke, this piece will be done. I got a lot of shows coming up for February. I got 3 places to be in February. all at the same time. So I probably have like 10 or 12 paintings out around town. So I gotta decide which ones I'm gonna hang up. So this should be fun. But I'll get with you guys later on. Peace. Till next time.